Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. We are on day 3 of Vlogmas. Today we're going to do a white background granny square, which is what we talked about yesterday. I think I've settled on just doing the Christmas tree, and this is all worked up first and then we work around in the white. It's super fun, super easy, super cute, and I think it's gonna make sense to have it with our first two. Then we'll actually connect them today, so that'll be really fun. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notified of all my posts. So as you can see right here, that is a regular old green granny square. When we get to the third round, we'll slip stitch where we don't want to add clusters, and then we'll add clusters where we do. Nice and easy. So first, let's just work up a regular old granny square in green. And I do chain one in between the clusters. As we can see from this square right here, the only place we are adding clusters is one right at the top and some at the bottom. So I'm gonna get the bottom ones over with, and so to do that, I'm gonna do what I did in the last round and slip stitch my way into the corner. And then easy enough, we're just going to continue along the bottom until we hit the next corner. Bottom of the tree. And now we don't want to add any clusters as we go up the top here, so we'll just slip stitch across. At this last cluster, we actually have to chain 2 and slip stitch down into it so that we can slip stitch into the next stitches. Whereas if we put a double crochet, my yarn will be coming out the top here, which is not what we want. We want to be down here so that we can easily get into our next slip stitch. We're slip stitching across all the way. And when I get into my corner, what I usually do is I'll slip stitch, chain 1, slip stitch back in there, and then I can continue to slip stitch as normal. And that gives it a nice sharp corner, which I personally really enjoy. Now that we are here, we can slip stitch into our chain 2 space, and this is where we're going to create the top of the tree. So all we need to do is chain 2 and add 2 more double crochet to finish off the granny cluster. But same thing like we had over here, we're actually going to take that last double crochet out, chain 2, and slip stitch back in. And this still counts as 3 double crochets. I also just slip stitch into the space. Slip stitch into, so there's already a slip stitch. And now we can chain 1, and that is our Christmas tree worked up so far. And all we need to do now is the white border and sew everything together. Running extremely low on my white yarn here, but it's definitely enough to do what we need to do today. All right, and so to get started, I want to attach my white yarn. I think I'll just start on this side here. That's where I decided to tie on, and I'll just pull up a loop, chain 1, 2, and that's going to count as our first double crochet. Sorry, I want to make sure to stitch over my ends. We're going to pull up a loop, chain 1, 2, and chain 2. This chain 2 counts as the double crochet, and we're going to yarn over, double crochet, and that's our first granny cluster. We'll chain 1, and now we want to slip stitch into this chain 2. Perfect. Oh no, we messed this up. That's not how you do it. That is not at all how we do it. Like this, I want to attach my yarn to this chain 2 and specifically to the top of the chain 2. So I'll put my hook in the top of the chain 2 and tie on my white yarn. Now, because I'm here, I can finish the rest of my third round. Great. So now all I'm going to do is pull up a loop here. That way I'm ready to go. I'm going to chain 1 because I chain 1 in between the clusters. Yarn over, and we will insert a granny cluster into this chain 2 space. Beautiful. And we can chain 1 and insert another cluster. Chain 2, insert another cluster. Wonderful. And chain 1. Now we will slip stitch into the top of this chain 2. We can chain 1, slip stitch into the top of this chain 2. Then we can chain another one, double crochet, and we are doing our normal thing for the corners. That's how we're looking now. And finally, chain 1 and slip stitch into the top of this chain 2. Great. That's how our granny square looks. And finally, what we need to do. Okay, so here, what I need to do is go back 1, and I need to put a stacked single crochet to count as my first double crochet. I'll go back into that hole, pull up a loop. That's my first single crochet. Into the leftmost post, front post of that, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and finish off that next single crochet. That's a stacked single crochet. This is going to be the third double crochet of my last cluster here, so we can just leave that there, chain 1, and we're going to just go around as normal. So close.
It's not making a good decision. Oh gosh, go play in your play area. No. Yes, Cash. Cash.
Thank you. It's finished. It looks real good. And that is it for our third granny square. Looking really cute. Looks basically exactly the same as the practice one. And then snowflake can be like that. So I decided I'm going to use all white yarn to sew these together. So I'm just going to cut myself a very healthy piece. Having some sort of mismatch situation here. I'm not worried about it because at the end of this, I can always just add a row of single, half double, or double, whatever it needs. So that's gonna be it for this episode. We have the 3 joined together. Tomorrow we will add a green background. We'll start with the green background stripe, which will be really cool. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode.